Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 2 of Podcastrophe's Maulcastrophe,
Of
where
Paul.
we talk about Paul's. Yep, about Paul's. Paul. Hi, I'm Paul.
Hi,
We
I'm
talk
Paul.
about Maul Shadow Lord. Today we are talking about episodes 3 and 4. I'm your co-host Scott, and with me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, Dick. Hello, Dick.
Hi.
I'm excited. We were just talking about this. I forgot to watch the episodes last night, so I stayed up until 1:30 in the morning, prepping for the show so that I could watch the episodes and we could get the talk in. So it's still very fresh in my mind. Let's
I
just dive right into it.
I tried to rewatch them and I fell asleep during both of them.
Yes, you did.
That is not that has nothing to do with how good the episodes were. That was just me being a little tired boy because I worked all day and I had a long day yesterday and you can hear it in my voice. I'm kind of tired but we're gonna truck on through this. I'm ready.
Let's get into
Let's
it.
get into it.
Episodes 3 and 4. So at the end of episode 2, we see that Devin has used the Force to break out of her little container unit. Right? She's escaped, and that's kind of where the episode leads us. So into episode 3, we see that she's escaped, and immediately upon escaping, I love that. What's his? I keep forgetting his name.
Dario.
It's not Dario. It's Vario.
Vario, yeah. Dario.
Vario. So Vario is, it's, and I hate that little squeaky
Yeah,
buck.
he kind of sucks.
He,
He's
he
annoying.
kind of said, which he's a crime syndicate
Yeah.
boss, so like he should suck, but
But he sucks in a
he's
different
just
way. He sucks because he's annoying and slimy.
yeah, skeeving, conniving. It's funny
He's a little
because
rat.
he is such a rat, and Rook even says, he's talking, he's like, hey, I'm hungry. I'm thinking like a nice fillet or something like that, like a nice juicy steak. And she's like, "Do you have an off button?" Like just straight up, "Do you have an off button?" And he's like, no, no, I do not. In fact,
Yeah, I
so
can't
like
stand him, but that's his
he
character.
is such a piece of shit. But that is his character for sure. So
Yeah.
we see her get out of her crate, and the first thing that happens is she, Rook points over, is basically, or kind of nods over, and we see Maul sitting in there, and I love this presentation of Maul because he's, again, we were talking about, he's very calm, he's collected. She sits down, he immediately closes the door, right? Or closes the vault door, and so they're just sitting in this very dark vault. You've got a little bit almost candlelight to show Maul's face.
I love what he says.
He's tea.
Huh?
That was my favorite part where she's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's tea."
Yeah.
Like, what do you? He's like,
Well, he said
"What
the
do you
name of it.
think?"
He's like it's such and such tea. And
Yeah, it's
and, and
such and
then
such tea.
he's like he basically says like you've been told who I am, and it's like I can be that person, but you wouldn't like
Yes,
that.
I love that so
I
much.
can
It
I can be that
basically
person
tempted her.
I can very easily be that person.
Like it's almost like in a relationship where you get into a fight and it's like, you want me to be the asshole? I can be the asshole. Like,
Yeah.
is that who you
Like I have
are? But
no
he,
problem being that guy.
yeah, but he's very tempered about it, right? And so I just love, we see her. She's still very guarded, and she keeps looking at the lightsaber, right? And you can tell, like, that's all she wants. It is very reminiscent of when Luke is in front of Palpatine in Return of the Jedi, and Palpatine's like, "You want this, don't you? Like, I can feel that you want this. Go ahead, take it, strike me down. Join your dad." Like, and the parallel to Devin, where he's like, oh, see, you keep looking at the lightsaber, like, go, go for it. You think you can? Do you think you could take me down if you do it? And she's like, you know, I I'm pretty confident. And he's like, you
Fuck it, we ball.
yeah. And so, and then she does, right? And so I love the fight scene between her and Maul because it's got parallels to other parts of Star Wars where it's Vader fighting Reva, right? Palpatine fight or Sidious when he's Sidious
Yeah,
fighting Savage.
he's basically he's fencing her. He's not
Yeah,
he's barely trying. He's one hand behind his back and
we
just
see it a
parrying
lot with
everything.
like Dooku when he's training Savage at first, where
Yeah.
he's like Dooku's just
He
he's like, yeah,
toys.
let me handicap myself. Yeah, what have you got, right? And there's a moment in that scene that I thought was so fucking neat, where you just see the reds of the lightsabers that are illuminating the immediate area, and you see Maul's face, and it's got a very like scratchy colored pencil
So
animation to
so
it.
yeah, that's something new they did with the animation. It's the normal animation, but they also put like transparent, like they put transparency over it and did brush strokes.
Did they? It
Yes,
looks so good. It is
it
so
does.
good. It's
They
got
were
kind of
talking
a
about
like
it.
messy watercolor effect.
Yeah, they were talking about it on Thank the Maker podcast, which is it's a Star Wars podcast by it's got Ryan Key from Yellow Card, Nick Gambarian from Bayside, then Adam, I can't remember his last name. He's from Story of the Year.
That's a crazy
Yeah,
lineup for a Star Wars
I know.
podcast.
The first
That
time
is
the
an
first time I
insane
ever heard
lineup.
that I was like, holy shit, Ryan Key. Like I'm a huge Yellow Card fan, as you know.
Oh yeah.
And so like I'm like Ryan Key. It's like he posted it on his Instagram, and I'm like, he's like, hey, we interviewed Ashley Eckstein, and I'm like, whoa, that's cool. So I listened to
Whoa.
that, and I never really stopped listening to Thank the Maker. It's been a great fucking show. They go very in depth. They know their shit with Star Wars. The only time I've been kind of like on them is like they're the type of Star Wars fans that we honestly probably need more of.
Where like Star Wars can do no wrong.
Kind of. They're like they just
It's
love Star Wars, and they're like they can be critical of it, but for the most part they're like any Star Wars is good Star Wars. So they were pretty into the Acolyte, so I kind of had to check out for that because I was like I was not
yeah,
having it.
not a fan.
I mean,
Not a fan.
good for you guys, but
Yeah.
man,
But projects like that I think lead to projects like Maul. And so
yeah.
I love that they're trying out new stuff with Maul.
Well, the animation was already super fucking fantastic, and now like technology
So
has
good.
improved so much since Clone Wars. So like
Mm-hmm.
we have faster render times. We can do more powerful animations with less like like computer resources. And again,
And it's
the render times are
crisp.
through the roof right now. Especially, I mean, the industry standard right now for videography and shit is Apple Silicon, like
Yeah.
like
And Apple
Mac
Silicon is
Studios.
nuts. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, so like you got the M like let's see, I'm trying to think of what the last Mac Studio has. It's got I think it's either M3 or M4,
I
M3 or
believe
M4
it's
Ultra.
yeah. And their silicon is among some of the best on the planet. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
literally an
what I'm using
industry
right now.
standard.
I'm using an M4
Yeah.
Mac Mini,
Literally
a
an
a,
industry
a
standard.
regular M4. It's not even the M4 Pro. So and this thing is just an absolute powerhouse.
Well, and that shows right in the animation
It
itself.
does.
Like
It really does.
you get that you get Maul's face, and then the way that the light reflects off of it, and you see those dirty, kind of gritty, like almost like there's sand over it, like
It looks so good.
brushstroke. And it makes sense now that they're like brushstrokes over that. It's so good. And so I loved this fight scene between the two of them. And there was a really cool detail that normally I think I would have missed because I watched it on the TV in my bedroom where normally that's just sound off of the TV versus watching it in my living room where I've got, the whole sound setup and stuff. So I didn't have the bass from the subwoofer in my bedroom, and there was a detail I heard that I think I would have missed because of the bass. While they're fighting, and it's not when they immediately start fighting because, the scene cuts away and then it comes back to them fighting.
Hmm.
We'll skip ahead a little bit in the episode since we're talking about their fight, where they're fighting on the bridge with each other. Where Maul's like, "Did you really think I was just gonna let you walk out of here?"
Yeah.
Which I love that. And you just know that Maul's gonna beat her to the exit somehow, right? Because she's running and Maul's just kind of like, "All right, well,
Well, he's pushing her. He's pushing
yes,
her to. He's trying to.
testing her."
He's testing her. He's pushing her to see at what point is what is going to break her and make her, give him a little more. If you know what I
There's
mean.
it's
I'm a little
and she
bit
does.
a little taste of that darkness within.
And she does, because you can see the frustration. She screams,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then she turns around to fight him. While they're fighting on this little bridge, right, at the entrance to this place, there's a moment where if you listen really closely to it, they use a part of the um, a part of the song from when Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting on Mustafar.
The
And
Duel of
it's
Heroes.
Duel of Heroes, and it's so surreal to hear that. We're talking what, some, I don't know, 20 years later. We hear 21 years later, we hear that in an episode, and it was such a good callback, because you're like, it was almost like to me, it had a little bit of like Duel of the Fates mixed with Duel of the Heroes, where they did like a subtle mashing of them, but you can hear like the brass
Mm-hmm.
and stuff in it, and the almost the tragedy of them having to fight each other.
Yeah.
Excellent scene. Like that scene right there, for the soundbite alone, to me is a 10 out of 10 scene. That's the kind of Star Wars I want to see. And it ends so well with, again, we're talking about calm and collective Maul here, where she's got her back, away for, or she's facing towards the exit. Maul just keeps beating her, and she basically gets around him, and like he just really presses the saber in, and he's like, okay, you wanted that guy that this is that guy that they told you about. And you see the fear in her eyes, and she breaks away and runs, and Maul just kind of, delights his deignites his saber. She's running for it, and as she's running, he just kind of force
Yeah.
pulls the lightsaber back, and he's like, you can go, but I'm gonna need that back.
Yeah.
Like, that's not yours to keep. I let you have it. And the way he's toying with her, it is just the marks of a true. And I know he doesn't refer to himself as Sith anymore. And he even says as much when talking to Devin right there. He's having his tea, and he's like, you're not a Jedi, and I'm not a Sith. We both have to
Mm-hmm.
adapt to this new
Mm-hmm.
galaxy,
It's
right?
like, I'm not your
And
enemy. It's like
yeah,
the same
the enemy
people.
of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, the same people who took over this galaxy, who cast me aside, who destroyed your Jedi, who destroyed your order and exiled you. That's who I'm going up against. That's who
Yeah,
I'm trying to take
took
down.
my brother, took
Murdered my
my
brother.
mother, took my home world from me, took my empire, took everything that I had and I ever was, took all of it from me. The same guy who did that to you did that to me. We don't have to fight. We're not
Yeah,
enemies here.
yeah.
And so I love how Maul's really stepped into this, eyes on the prize. Don't let anything distract you from the eyes of the prize. And it's funny, on our last episode, we were talking about seeing where it goes with, because Maul's lost all of his power. He no longer has an apprentice and his brother. And we see him starting to put together the pieces for this, right? And this leads to another great piece of the episodes, is where Vario, he basically is like, he takes the money back to the leader of the Pike Syndicate, right?
This
And
is
as he's
episode 4
standing
now.
there, this is episode 4 now, and as he's standing there with his, he's talking to the Pikes and stuff, and he's like, he made me do it. And they're like, what are you mumbling about? And he's like, he made me do it, like you guys have no idea. And then Maul, and I put that in air quotes for anybody who's only listening and not watching, Maul steps off of the landing craft and just eviscerates them, and then Vario shoots him in the back and is like, I got you. I fucking got you. I did it. I got you. I'm free. And I just let while his eyes are on the prize in the big picture for Devin, he's still got this other. He's working on getting his apprentice back. He's working on building his empire. Right? It it's happening so quick. And in between all of this, we've got Detective Lawson and Two Boots, which can I just say, like, maybe hats off for a moment, figuratively speaking, for Two Boots. What a cock! He just the way he just keeps pushing the Empire, and he's
He
like, I
he's
gotta call the
he's
Empire.
got programming, okay? And
He does. And he can't.
he's also got that robotic bluntness where
Yes.
are he's like, you're not trying to keep the empire out of this because you're your ex-wife is working for them now, is it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Or
oh,
like,
you
there's no
little
corruption
asshole.
happening here that I should be aware
It's
of.
like
Is there like you guys don't want to follow Imperial protocol?
it's like in the past when we had an issue like this, we would call the Republic and they would dispatch a Jedi. We had things much less than this,
Yeah,
and they dispatched a Jedi. I think that calls for us calling the Republic, and they're like, no, that's a terrible idea.
Lawson basically says, I think his phrase literally is, they would send, we would call the Republic, you're right, and they would send a Jedi, and he's like, those days are over.
Those days are over. If the Empire comes here, they will never leave.
They will never leave because, and for people who don't know, right, the Empire had something like 20,000 Star Destroyers in the Imperial fleet, in the Imperial Navy. One Star Destroyer had several garrisons worth of men. It had a crew of like 30 to 40,000 people, something of which like 5 to 10,000 were stormtroopers. You could literally park a Star Destroyer, and this part's important. You could park a Star Destroyer over a planet, and one Star Destroyer had enough firepower, had enough Imperial walkers, both ATSTs and AT-ATs, had enough infantry, had enough TIE fighters and bombers to oppress an entire planet. One Star Destroyer could oppress an entire system. That's all it took. And they had over 20,000 of these at the height of the Empire.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's really hard for them to be like, oh, let's just dispatch a single Star Destroyer to a system.
Yeah.
And Lawson knows this. And he's like, if we call for the Empire, especially for Maul, whose file is locked by the ISB, by the way, the ISB, which sits right hand to the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Another thing is the way the Empire operates. They look down on everything. It's all power. It's all power, and power's a ladder, as Littlefinger would say in Game of Thrones. And the way they look at this thing, if they were to say, "Hey, Empire, this is going on. We're supposed to report it, and we need your help," the Empire would come like, "Yeah, you clearly can't handle the law enforcement on your planet, so now we're going to take over."
Yeah, right? Like, you called us because this is out of your hands.
So
you
therefore,
can't handle your
therefore
system.
you have lost all control from henceforth because you couldn't handle this one situation.
Yep, you showed it's out of your hand. And I mean, you see parallels like that in the real world, right? Where it's like when the FBI gets called into a police investigation and the FBI immediately goes, this is no longer a police investigation. This is an FBI investigation. We'll let you know if we need anything from you, but you guys have lost control of the situation. You clearly can't get it back. We're in charge now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very strong-armed, like, imperial takeover, as imperial governments do, where it's that we'll handle this and you guys just go get out of here. That you weren't up to the task. It's now our task to handle forevermore. And so Lawson keeps telling it, and Two Boots is so insistent, right? He's like, I'm going to call the Empire. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And he's like, don't do that yet. Give me more time. And you're right. Two Boots is a droid. He can't get past his programming where he's like, I will give Two Boots this. He can't get past his programming, which Lawson knows that. However, Two Boots isn't just doing it because he's a droid and can't get past his programming. We see little bits of some of this started in episodes 1 and 2. We see it carry over into episode 3, where Two Boots has his little cup of coffee.
Yeah, he's like, I can't drink
and
this.
He's like it's fucking empty. He's like, I do this because it's a ritual that you guys do. And he's like, I'm building camaraderie with you. Like
I'm one of the
guys
guys
for your sake. Yeah, right. He trying to humanize himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says a line that still gets me, and we even see some humanization come out of him where, Two Boots gets put onto desk duty in these 2 episodes. And there's a picture of him and Lawson, and Two Boots just pushes a thing of files right in front of the picture so he can't see it anymore. Right. And so it's a very subtle detail that, like, if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. It's a quick scene.
See, I noticed that on my rewatch. Yeah.
Yeah, he pushes the files in front of it because he's been resigned to desk duty because the chief put him there. and he's, because now he's showing anger. He's like, I'm mad at
He's
Detective
resentful
Lawson. Like,
because he got put there because he was fucking stepping in it.
yes, yep, that's 100% it. And there's a line he says that really gets me, where he's like, he talks about not only, are you breaking Imperial protocol, but he's like, I have to think about Imperial protocol because he's a droid and that's how he's programmed. He's like, but also I have to think about the safety of you and our men. Like, are you guys going to be okay if you step into this? Like, I don't want to see you guys. You're basically saying, I don't want to see you guys get hurt. I care about all of you. Lawson, you're my friend. And if you take this on without the help of the Empire, this might be the last thing you ever take on,
Yeah.
kind of alluding to the fact that, like, I really care about you, man. And, like, care more than a droid probably should be programmed for. So we see that, like, they're programming, or they are sentient enough to, like, pick up on it. They don't have emotions, allegedly. They just have their programming, but they
Yeah.
can. He understands what it's like to emulate those emotions, and he's like, I do care. Like, yes, my programming means that I care, but I also do care. I don't want to see any of you guys get hurt, you know and so I thought, I will give Two Boots that, is he's like, yeah, I've got my programming, but also, god damn it, man, you're gonna die if you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do this. Like, you're throwing your life away. Let me call the Empire and let us get the resources we need.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, and we're gonna jump all over between these episodes 3 and 4, these different storylines. But, we see later where, um, Two Boots is kind of like, you know sorry, I had to do a thing I had to do, and Lawson's like, what? And we'll get to that here in a bit. But, he's like, he could forgive Lawson as long as Lawson can forgive him, right? And so I just think that's kind of a neat parallel with Two Boots, is like, he's got all of the makings of, like, a brother in arms, but he is just a droid, and in the end he can't beat his programming. So
Yeah.
it's kind of sad, but,
Jumping
it's
back
it's a good
to
storyline.
jumping back to Maul and Devin. The very beginning, he asks her name and she just stonewalls him. Doesn't
Yes.
give it up, and he's just trying to be cordial. I mean, he's being sly about it, but
Yeah.
he's just trying to present himself as being cordial.
Right.
And then at the very end of the episode, he calls her by her name, and
Yeah, when he
and
steals the
that stops
lightsaber.
her. Yeah, that stops her dead in her tracks, and it's like, oh, he knew. It's like,
Yeah. Oh, he knew the whole time.
and that's the thing, is like he does all these these little power moves to let him know,
Yes.
to let everybody around him know that he is him. Like,
Yeah,
he
that
is
he's in
fucking Darth
control,
Maul,
right? Yeah.
or
Like,
Maul.
he
He
is
is
not.
Maul.
He is Maul. I mean, he is Darth Maul, right? He is. If he wanted to, he is still a Dark Lord of the Sith. Like, and it shows, right? And something I thought was really great. He's talking to Devin in this room right before they have their saber duel, and he's like, "Have you ever dealt with the people that the Empire sends to deal with rogue Jedi?" He's alluding to the
Yeah,
Inquisitorius, where he's like, do you know who these people are? Have you ever, do you know what happens if I can't protect you? Because that's how he phrases it. He's like, I can protect you from that. I
yeah,
can keep you safe. You don't have to live in fear and squander. You know, I can make sure that you're safe. I can continue your training. And she's like, I'm pretty confident in my abilities. And then, of course, they have their saber fight. And I think Maul, this is a little bit of speculation on my part. I think Maul is actually a little surprised at her when they have their saber duel, because he's like, oh, because he's like, how long has it been since you've held a lightsaber? Feels good, doesn't it?
yeah,
Feels good to use it. Yeah, he's just kind of
yeah,
prodding her,
yeah.
here and there, like, really trying to stoke the flames. Where he's like, "Yeah, it feels nice in your hands, huh? Just like you remember it.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you're a little angry. Give into it."
So moving forward to episode 4 again, we get a big climactic battle. Not
We
just be
do.
so at first it's so Devin reunites with her master,
Yes.
And then I can't. They went to the police, right, and told them
No.
where they were.
So they don't go to the police. There's it's Master Ikbo, I think is his
Yeah.
name. So Ikbo sends a message
And
from
tells them where Maul is.
yeah, because at the beginning of this episode, Detective Lawson's trying to we see him really struggling with trying to be a dad because it's the classic, detective trope where it's like I'm so dedicated to the force, but also like this is all my responsibility. There's so much bad happening that like I don't have time to be a family man
We
as
are
much
like,
as he tries.
goddamn, we're skipping over so much, and but
Not too much.
I really want to get to the big fight, but I want to talk about like we don't even need to talk about, but it needs mentioning after Maul kills Krim, and
Yes.
he's just talking to Krim's dead body, telling him like what he did to him. I came to you at not a broken man, but I came to you and you denied me.
Yeah, I needed someplace to hide. I
Yeah,
needed
I
someplace to
needed
lay
refuge,
low.
and
And you told me no. You tried to kill me. You tried to kill me as he's talking to his dead body,
yeah,
which is so. That's it. I don't know. That's just like the biggest fuck you. Is like you tried to kill me.
like he's doing his
Look at you
monologue
now.
after the death. Like I love that. Like that's
But
it's like I
that
don't
is one of the
actually need
things.
you to hear this. This is for me.
But so that's the thing I love though is it's not just for Maul
It's
because
for the
so
audience
I
that he
love that
has.
scene. I love that you brought up this scene because I do want to talk about it. So Vario goes there and we talked about this already a little bit. He shoots Maul in the back after Maul, using air quotes
Mm-hmm.
here, after Maul kills some of the Pike members and then they take Maul inside. Right, he's still stun blasted and stuff. And Vario's like, look what Vario brought you Maul. So we're squared away. We're done. Like I could have let him kill you, and instead, I had your back. Remember that I had your back, right? And then he goes over, and he reveals the hood, and he's like, "That's not Maul."
It's
And
Icarus.
then the lightsaber, right? And the lightsaber ignites, and you see the red off to the side of the camera where the lightsaber ignites, and they all look in the hallway, and it's him. That's actually Maul, right? It's so good. It's such a
And then Maul fucking pulls a Kylo Ren.
he does
He fucking
he does
Snokes
pull
his
a Kylo
ass.
Ren. He literally just throws the fucking lightsaber, and
He didn't
and
throw
pulls
the
it.
lightsaber.
Well, he pulls it back,
Yeah, I was gonna
right?
say Krim already had the lightsaber from Icarus, and then he ignites it and then pulls it back, which slices him. And it's like
Yep.
fuck yeah, that's just like I mean they're pulling from the fucking Last Jedi, which I don't care what anybody says. There are so many aspects of that movie that are amazing. We're not going to get into it
There
because
are
we
there
can
are
get into
aspects of that
it.
movie that are fantastic. We could,
And
but
that scene was amazing, despite it completely undercutting everything that trilogy was going to be. Like by
yeah,
killing Snoke right off the bat, it's like, oh, we just met him and now he's dead.
and now he's
He
dead.
got Boba Fetted. Cool.
But they literally did the same thing with the Pike Syndicate
Yeah.
leader, where you just met him. You just met him that episode, and you see him, and you're like, okay, is he gonna be like an underling again and report to Maul? And Maul's like, no, kills him, does his monologue, and his monologue is for him, but it's projecting in front of because Vario's still alive, still watching him,
And his new
and
captain's still alive.
his nuke because he's like, "Who are you?" Talking to the guy who's bowing because all three of these guys bow
Yeah.
immediately, and they're like, "Lord Maul," which I think is hilarious because they're in a crime world, and not just in a crime world, in a crime underworld where someone kills not the boss is this is the leader of the Pike Syndicate kills him. And he's like, "Oh, Lord Maul doesn't miss a beat." They're suddenly like, "Yeah, no, you're in charge. Of course you're in charge. Like, why would you've never not been in charge, Lord Maul?" And Maul's like, "Who are you?" And the guy says his name, and he's like, "What's your role here?" And he's like, "I'm leader of the guard." And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "I'm captain of the guard." He's like, "Well, captain, you're in charge now." Points to the throne. You're in charge, right?
You report
But
to me.
you report to me. Yep, I love that where he's like, don't get any twisted ideas like this dead guy on the ground got. You can do things, and for the most part, I'm going to let you do your things. You run the Pike Syndicate, and the Pikes do what the Pikes do best: crime and money. Go do that. That's fine. But at the end of the day, if I fucking call on you or I ask what are you doing, you fucking tell me and you
Yeah.
report to me.
Yeah.
Like that's such a good, because it's fear, right? He's instilling fear. Like that whole monologue is as much as it is for Maul, in the exposition of it's for the viewer's benefit of this is what this guy did to Maul and this is why he's now dead on the floor. The three guys kneeling before him and Vario, who are like, this is what this guy did to me and how he tried to kill me, and now he's dead. So if you try to kill me, because Maul says he's like, this is what happens for anybody in the end who betrays me.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get yours, and I'm going to get mine, but yours is going to be dead on the ground. And they all immediately recognize that. And it makes me wonder a little bit, because they don't really talk about this. Was the stun blaster part of the operation to because Maul didn't need to let that happen for him to get close, right? Maul could have just walked in there and killed
Yeah.
everybody. He didn't need to hide his
There was a bit of
lieutenant.
theatrics to it.
There was, but like, was that the plan though?
I think.
Was Vario acting really well, or did Vario actually want to betray him? And then Maul's like, "I duped you."
I feel like that was all part of the plan because it was Icarus that got like posing as Maul, so that
Yes.
wouldn't make sense. Nah,
But it's something that's really cool in that scene though, where Icarus comes down off the ramp and he kills all of the most of the Pikes that are standing there. He fights really well with a fucking lightsaber.
yeah, he's a Zabrak.
Like, he fights
Zabrak.
so damn well. Zabrak. Yep, he's a Zabrak. He fights so damn well throughout that whole thing, and I'm like, it had me convinced that it was Maul. And when Vario shoots him in the back, I was like, oh no, like, is this not going to go the way I thought it was going to play out? And then of course we get to, you know, Pikes try to kill him and stuff, and Maul's over off to the side, and it's like, oh no, yeah, of course, this went exactly as we had thought it was going to go. But that is such a good scene because it also instills a new level of fear. Like, Vario's not dead yet. Vario's still alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maul doesn't kill him, so I have to think that if Vario was truly betraying him, that Maul would have been like, all right, well, your usefulness has served its
I was gonna say,
purpose.
unless Maul still has use for him.
Exactly. So I'm like, could Vario get him closer to other crime syndicate bosses, or was Vario working largely with the Pikes? We don't know.
Yeah.
That's left to be seen, right?
Yeah.
And so all of this leads us up to our big battle.
Yeah. So all the cops, all the law enforcement of Janix converge on Maul's location, and Maul's people are waiting for him. It's an ambush. It's crazy.
They know they're coming. They're prepared, and it's because Master Ikbo is the one who sends the message to Detective Lawson, where he's like, one of the other guys from the department comes up and he's like, hey man, I got an anonymous tip, and Lawson's brushing it off. He's like, you know how many anonymous tips we get?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's probably nothing. And this guy's like, no, it's from your uncle. And he's like, man, I didn't even know you had an uncle, because earlier in the episode,
I'm
Master
her uncle.
Ikbo, is like, I'm her uncle. And then he just disappears, right?
Well, so I think so. Maul let Devin go. Knew Devin was going to say something, and I think this was all to force a confrontation between him and Lawson and try to get a deal.
Well, and we see that deal happen, right? So the police get there, Lawson gets there, they get ambushed, right? And he's like, "Where's Maul?" And Vario is there, and Vario's like, "Oh, he's right here," and puts up the holo projector. And it's like, okay, here's Maul, and Maul's like, hey, I understand. He's like, you're an intelligent guy, right? Like, kind of softballing it in, like trying to compliment him. He's like, you're an intelligent guy, and I do think Maul believes that Detective Lawson is intelligent.
Yeah.
But he's like, you're an intelligent guy. You didn't call the Empire because you know what that means. I know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
We understand the bigger picture of what's going on here. So I tell you what, you're afraid of the Empire. I know, because you didn't call them. I am also afraid of the Empire. The difference is I can hold my own against the Empire. Let me protect you. You keep doing what you do. And he says a line that I think is super important at this point in episode 4, where he's like, you get to keep your planet. You get to keep running things your way. You get to keep your planet. We get to keep the Empire out of this. And you get to forget that I exist. But Maul also kind of sweetens the pot, right? He's like, not only will I protect you, he's like, I promise no more big, obscene crime in the middle of your towns. No more civilian lives at risk. I will minimize casualties. I'll minimize our presence. I will make sure that you don't know I'm here. You get everything you want. And I get to keep doing as long as
And
I get
I
to
get to
keep doing what I'm
operate
doing,
unimpeded.
which is all Maul wants. Shadow Collective. He just wants to be in charge, but behind the scenes, not in front of the Empire, right? Not in the limelight.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're an honorable man. And Lawson goes, yeah, you're right. I am an honorable man. Doesn't take the deal. And I love that Maul goes, that's the honorable thing to do. That's what an honorable man would do. And Maul's just giddy, right? Maul's like, yep,
Yep. Because
that's,
he's getting the carnage that he wants.
yep.
I
He's
mean,
like,
deep
you're,
down, that he is still an agent of chaos.
he is
He
an agent
loves
of
the
chaos.
carnage. He loves the chaos. He loves the violence. So I
And
mean,
as
that's
soon as Lawson rejects it, he's like, yeah, I thought so. Honorable man, everyone. Kill him. just just kill
yeah,
them all. And then we get our huge fight, right? And at this point, Ikbo and Devin have shown up because a little before this, and we haven't talked about this so much, but Devin convinces her master that, like, we are Jedi. And he says, very, in no uncertain terms, no ambiguity, no, we're not. The days of the Jedi are gone. We are not Jedi. We're not keepers of the peace. We're not soldiers. We are no longer the guardians of the galaxy. We are just people. We are just people.
you said it. You
I
said
said the
something.
line.
You said the
I said the
line.
line. They are no longer guardians of the galaxy, right? They are just people with, and he says it, he's like, we're just people with extraordinary gifts. Obligatory train, everyone. We love that it shows up in both our
Yeah.
podcasts. Obligatory train. And so and you can see in this moment, he's a little defeated too, right? He's like, that's not our role anymore. Those days are over.
Yeah.
And Devin convinces him, she's like, it's not over as long as there are people like you and me around to do something about it. Let's do something about it. Like, we do have these gifts. Let's use them for the benefit of everyone, for society, for a better world. Because she says, and I love when people invoke like justice in this. She's like, these are good people here, kind of alluding to, like, it's a line that Sam says in Lord of the Rings, right, where he's like, Frodo's like, what are we fighting for? And he's like, there's some good in this world,
Yeah.
and it's worth fighting for.
Yeah.
And Devin says more or less along the same lines, like,
Mm-hmm.
there are good people here. There's still hope and justice in the galaxy. We need to do something about it because we can. So they go off, right? And they're there at the start of this big fight. So we've got this fight between Maul's forces, between the police, and we've got a third party fight coming up with Devin and her master. And this, I think, is what people have kind of been waiting for, is the confrontation, right?
Yeah.
And Maul knows, because Maul's like, I know that you're a Jedi, but you're too young to be that much of a Jedi. Like, you're a Jedi in name only, not in practice. That means because he's like, how did you survive Order 66? She's like, I just kept my head low. And he's like, no, you have a master.
Yep.
Where's your master? And so now we get to this confrontation of Maul with Devin and Ikbo, a master, and he is a master Jedi, right? He's shown it in the ways he keeps disappearing from Lawson, the ways he's able to hide his presence, the ways he's able to manipulate through the city. He is a master Jedi, not just in name, but in practice.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing this he survived Order 66. And not only did he survive Order 66, he survived with his Padawan.
Yeah.
That says he was able to protect the both of them. So he's got to be pretty damn good. And so Maul really, Maul kind of tries to sweeten the pot with them too. He's like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Why don't we work together? You two don't have to hide. Alluding to the fact that I know you guys hide out in like sewage drains and in the slums of these neighborhoods in these
Yeah.
cities. Like, you guys don't have to do that anymore. I could give you a good life. I could protect you, not just from me, but from the Empire, from Order 66. They don't take it. No deal. So we get to this saber fight. I
Man,
want to know your thoughts on this saber fight. What are the things
oh,
that you noticed that stood out to you?
it's great. Again, I needed to rewatch it. And of course, I fell asleep during that part on the rewatch just about an hour or two ago. Um, no, the choreography was fucking fantastic. I don't know who's doing Maul's choreography because it's not Ray Park. It might be Sam Witwer.
It might be. I would have to look that up because I'm not entirely sure. It's a good question.
Because I know Ray. They brought back Ray Park for the Maul Ahsoka fight,
Yes. But
and
that
he
was
was
before he had his falling out with Lucasfilm, and
yeah.
not his falling out, but before he went AWOL
Well,
in
he's
society.
been off and on since,
Yeah.
like especially lately. He's been going on these drunken hotel rampages.
Yeah.
I hope that guy gets some fucking help. He's a good
I
dude.
do too. He is a good dude, and we
He's
all fall.
he's very beloved in the con circuit.
Yes.
Like when he goes to cons, fans love him. He's so great with the fans, and it's sad to see it all.
But I
But
mean, he was Darth Maul. He is Darth Maul.
yeah,
Like, arguably Sam Witwer is Darth Maul, but he's Darth Maul as the way that like the voice actors for Obi-Wan and Anakin were those characters
yeah,
for, and Ashley Eckstein too, like were those characters for the animated versions of them.
mm-hmm,
But he was the living, breathing embodiment of Maul, right? The guy behind the mask, the guy in
yeah,
the makeup
yeah,
was Ray Park. So I do hope he gets some help too. But you're right. The choreography for this is very reminiscent of his choreography, and that there's a part that happens in this fight that we've never heard from Maul before. I don't
Oh,
know if you caught
the
it.
Force scream.
There's the Force scream. The Force scream is so good. It is the same Force scream that Sidious uses every time that he fights. And we get that from Maul, where we get that shriek out of him, that guttural, like real visceral, complete Sith energy, like embodying the dark side and letting it out, and almost a war cry. When he flips over, like he does a flip, almost the same way Sidious does, like his twirl, does a flip over and just lands.
God, that was
It's
so
dude, it's
bad.
all it was so bad, but it's almost the it can't be a coincidence, right? It is so close to how Sidious does his fighting, and we got to remember Sidious was his master. He's the one who taught him how to fight. He trained
Yeah,
him. He's the one who made Maul the person that he is.
yeah,
Even to this day, the amount of training that Maul has now, Maul has experience more than most people in the galaxy at this point that are prior Jedi, Force wielders, whatever you want to call them. He still sits at the top. Like, only a Jedi master could take him out. And not just anyone, like a master on the council. It takes a high ranking member of the Jedi Council in order to actually stand toe to toe with Maul, right? Not a lot of people can do that. And so we see Bo fight him, and immediately, right off the bat, we see Maul separate them.
yeah.
Maul's keeping Devin at a distance, doing everything he can to not fight her, while it's very much like I thought the entire fight, he was basically going to try to kill Bo and be like, use your hate. If you hate me, let me train you and let me make you into the machine that could kill me one day.
Let's turn you into Darth Talon.
Let's take.
Let's be
I'm
real.
so
This
glad.
is what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna
I'm
happen.
so glad you brought that up, because in it, and this goes a little bit back to her first fight with Maul in episode 3, where she's got the lightsaber and she's holding it like this, almost in like an Obi-Wan stance, right? But she's holding the lightsaber, and the way the lightsaber reflects off of her almost gives the patterns of the red on her pink skin with the black on her fucking, her, I don't know what you kind of want to call them, her head tentacles,
Her
like
let goes. I think there's something.
yeah, let goes. It's
Yeah.
it's something like that. It, you can almost see it. They're drip feeding it to us. If they don't make her Darth Talon, which technically the timeline's all out of order. Darth Talon in the
Yeah,
actual
it's
timeline is like 132 or ABY.
no. Darth Talon was supposed to be Maul's apprentice in George Lucas's sequel trilogy.
Right, but hold on, I have to look this up real quick. Because I thought I had read um this is in kind of the EU, but a Twi'lek who became a Sith lady and Darth Krayt's one Sith
Oh, yeah,
in
yeah.
137 ABY.
Okay.
We're past Luke at this
Yeah,
point. We're
oh yeah.
past like this is far into the
Yeah, like
extended
Cade
universe.
Skywalker and all them.
Yes, that's exactly who it is Cade Skywalker.
Yeah.
And so that's that whole storyline. But so granted that's all in the EU, so they could bring her forward in the canon and be like,
Mm-hmm.
no, this
But
is the original vision
if
for
I
Darth Talon.
remember though, for George Lucas's sequel trilogy that he wrote, and Disney was supposed to use, or could use, Darth Talon was Darth Maul's. Darth Maul was gonna come back. This was all written before Clone Wars. So Darth
Yes,
Maul was gonna come back as the big bad of the sequel trilogy.
you're right. It's looking it up. George Lucas planned for Talon to be the apprentice of a resurrected Darth Maul in his original treatment for the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Yes. That's so we're bringing it. They're still. It's right. The bones are there. The bones are
And she's
there.
young enough that it could work for
She's
the
the
sequel.
perfect age.
Yeah.
Yes, that by the time of the sequel. Now that would raise other questions of where is she in the galaxy at this time,
Where is she in
et
the
cetera, et
galaxy?
cetera.
How is Darth Maul is Darth Maul going to get resurrected because he did die?
He does die.
Now that
Obi-Wan finally kills him.
Rebels is a thing. Clone Wars and Rebels wasn't a thing when he wrote that treatment. So
Yes.
this was still operating off the fact that Darth Maul died in Episode 1.
Yep. And
Anyway, back to the episode.
yeah,
Back to the
we're
episode because
but it's they're putting it all together. We're getting the backdrop of what is more than likely, and we could both be wrong here. For my part, I think this is Darth Talon. They're setting up the pieces. The dominoes are ready to fall.
yeah,
We see him this fight between Ikbo, Devin, and Maul. Maul's not pressed at all. He's holding back even fighting this master Jedi where he's like, you've been out of practice for a long time. And granted it's only a year, but he's like, you're not nearly where you probably were at the peak of the Clone Wars. And
yeah,
maybe we don't know his backstory. Maybe during the Clone Wars he wasn't even involved and he was just training this because not all Jedi were involved. It was more like the Jedi, like the Master Jedi and those who were closer to the Council were the ones who were directly involved in the Clone
yeah.
Wars. So it's, he might not have even had much, if anything, to do with the Clone Wars. He could have been, for all we know, off in another part of the galaxy, which they allude to the fact that they were because, he's like, we should leave this planet. We've done it before. We could do it again. We can start somewhere new.
Mm-hmm.
And so alludes to they've been on the run for, since Order 66 has befallen them. So he fights Maul and he's just not up to the task. And Maul really puts the fucking screws to this Master Jedi.
However, this is where the ideologies converge, where the Sith focus only on their own strengths.
Yes.
And they don't care about any weaknesses they have. They don't try to bolster any. They don't try to compensate for any weaknesses they have. Jedi, however, if they have some kind of flaw within themselves, they find a way to compensate with the Force. They find some way to cover that weakness, whether it be
Yep.
like Yoda's lightsaber form. He uses the lightsaber form he uses because of his small stature. That's a way of covering your weakness instead of focusing solely on your strength. What's Maul's weakness?
Maul's weakness, it was and this is just from my perspective, Maul's weakness was his power, like his empire and his brother.
What is his current physical weakness?
Oh, his legs, which
Yeah. Yes.
they show in that fight where Ikbo kicks his fucking leg. And I love that they still allude to that too, because Maul's wearing his outfit now and we don't see his mechanical legs,
Yeah.
right? And by this point you're supposed to already know, if you
Right.
haven't watched both Clone Wars and Rebels, anybody who's listening to this and you are watching Maul, do yourself a favor. Stop what you're doing and go back and watch those first and then come back and watch Maul.
Right.
It's gonna have so much more weight to it. So he kicks him in his leg, and we won't jump ahead too much further, but they show that a little later in the episode, right? Where, Maul's leg is hindering him. So that I thought that was excellent choreography. That was an excellent. It's these little details in this Maul series that continue to amaze me and surprise me. They keep giving us like the attention to detail is magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good, and we see a different side of Maul here, where Maul, and not that he necessarily is forced to by any means. He could have killed them both without breaking a sweat.
Well, now he's on the back foot.
A little bit, but not, I mean, quite literally with one leg damaged. But quite literally with one leg damaged, but not so much, right? Because we know Maul's powerful enough. He could have killed them both and then been done with it. In their fight, he gets the upper hand where he's got his double saber, he's got it raised, and he's about to jump down and stab Ikbo. And as he goes to do it, Devin jumps in with her lightsaber and protects her master. And Maul's a little surprised by this. He's like, "Oh, look at you!
Mm-hmm.
You got some spunk to you. You've got a little bit of fight in you. I like that."
Yeah.
And then we hear, at this point where I can't remember if it's the droid or Rook who comes up. Someone basically like alludes to, lets Maul know, hey, police backup is here, reinforcements are here, we got to go. Like this fight is no longer an ambush. This is now going to become a battle of attrition, and we might get overrun. We got to go. Maul lets them live. And so as they're running, as they're escaping from this, we get what are perhaps my favorite parts of both of these episodes, and that says a lot for everything that's
Yeah.
happened, because it's the way that it sets it up for episodes 5 and 6. Maul et al. Take off. They leave. They're in the tunnel systems now. They're escaping, and we see the aftermath of this battle. Right, Maul collapses the tunnel. His legs bothering him, and he says very outright, like, I'll compensate. I'll get over it. We've got to carry on. Like, don't worry about it. We'll keep going. So we see Maul, like you said, very literally is on the back foot here, having to leave his hideout, having to take everyone with him. Like, okay, moving on to the next phase of the plan. We see the aftermath of this battle. The first thing that I noticed after this battle, what is the first thing you notice when police reinforcements arrive?
I don't know. I don't go for it.
It's so we get the reinforcements. They get there. You've got the billowing smoke from the entrance, and the chief gets out of her car and she's looking at the entrance basically for any signs of life. Like what is the current, because everybody's still staying in their cars. All the units are holding back. Nobody's moved forward from the moment that she gets out of her car. They're all kind of like, what's the situation? She's assessing the situation and she sees Detective Lawson step out alone. He's the only person to step out of the smoke, and she hangs her head. And then she kind of waves people forward, and it's like, okay. She realizes in that moment, we lost.
Yeah.
We lost. You didn't get them. And that's sad, but sad for reasons we don't quite yet. And it comes up very quickly after
Yeah.
this moment. We don't yet understand. She's like, oh, this is bad. He lost. Maul got away. We see the police units carrying basically all of the men who came in with him, right? The police robots are probably all but destroyed. We see the men being carried out on stretchers. We see Lawson crushed. He's like, I failed. I couldn't do it. I failed. And this is the pivotal moment, and this is my favorite part of both of these episodes. Two Boots walks up. He's like, and Lawson immediately goes, "I'm sorry for deactivating you," because we didn't mention this, but
Yeah.
earlier in the episode,
Two Boots was
Two Boots
going
goes
to
off and
he was going to report to the Empire, and before he can do so, Lawson deactivates him.
turns him off. And in this moment when he turns him off, there is a communicate up for the Empire, and Lawson just cuts the transmission, shuts Two Boots off, and they go and they do their raid. Now, fast forward to the end of this raid, they've lost, sustained heavy casualties. Almost anybody who came in there is probably injured, if not dead. Very few survivors from the aftermath of this battle. Two Boots walks up and he looks at Lawson, and the first thing, he's an honorable man. The first thing he says to Two Boots is, "I'm sorry I deactivated you. I do really hope you can forgive me." And Two Boots, humanizing here, is, "I do forgive you. And I hope that you'll forgive me." And in this moment, Lawson goes, "What are you talking about?" And everybody's communicator goes off.
Yeah.
And Lawson looks at it. And this is where we get this is my favorite moment from both of these episodes, is we see a wide shot, high pan wide shot of the city where we're at on Janix, right? And you know what's about to happen. That the classic angle scene of a Star Destroyer coming in from orbit, and you basically just see the top of the Star Destroyer as it comes across the camera. And from us, it's the bottom of the Star Destroyer,
Yeah.
but you see it come over the top of the camera.
Yeah.
And you're like,
It's
"Oh
a
shit."
looming presence.
The music that they play
Yeah, it's
is
it's the
so good.
imperial music.
Yes.
And then we're gonna get that shot. It's in the trailers, so we're gonna get that shot of the Imperial Star Destroyer hovering over the city, much like it
Yes.
did in
On
Jeddah.
Jeddah.
Jeddah,
Wait,
much like the Chimera in Ahsoka, which was the
Yep.
coolest fucking shit ever.
I loved that.
The-
There's such iconic shots of a Star Destroyer being over a city, and for anybody who's made it this far in the episode, I said hold on to this when I mentioned one Imperial Star Destroyer can oppress an entire planet. They sent one Imperial Star Destroyer, and it goes right over the police station. Basically parks itself above the city. It's such an iconic shot in many different aspects of Star Wars where we see that one Imperial Star Destroyer. We even see it in Rebels,
yeah,
where they park over the city in Rebels, and it's one.
the Chimera. Yeah,
There are. It's always one Imperial Star Destroyer, because remember, we just talked about this. All it takes is one Imperial Star Destroyer to oppress a planet with the amount of force that it has, with the units and the infantry and the firepower. It is a symbol of terror, a symbol of oppression. The iron-fisted gauntlet of the Empire has arrived. And I just love the music that they play. It's the same music they use for the intro and the music they use for the credits for Maul, where it's just this bass drummy, dark, it's brutal. It almost reminds me kind of like music from Dune, where you've got the Harkonnens theme, where it's very,
yeah,
it's very like dark-sided, very oppressive is just the best word for it. I keep using it, but an oppressive theme where it's like the stakes are now set. Where the first 4 episodes in, we've had a confrontation twice now between Maul and Lawson's lost both times. We've had a confrontation between Devin where she gets her one-on-one with Maul and she gets her master's fight with Maul. And we see her master apologize to Devin in a basically like the same way that Yoda apologizes to Bail Organa, where he's like, "I failed, man," and they all know what failure means in this moment. That this is it's a fates moment. And once again, the good guys lost.
mm-hmm.
The good guys lost the fates moment, and now we're locked into a timeline of this fate where the Empire's here. And with Maul name dropping the Inquisitorius not directly, but to Devin earlier, where he's like, "Do you know who they
mentioning
send?"
he's
Yeah,
foreshadowing them.
he is foreshadowing where he's like, "You know who they send to deal with people like you and me?
Well, they're
The
coming.
Star Destroyers here. They're not coming. They're here.
Yeah.
The Star Destroyers that you have to believe that if Maul got leaked, if Two Boots called for help and he's like, I'm because he's following protocol, and the protocol is I'm not calling for help for lawlessness. I'm calling for help because Maul is here. And they immediately show up in force. Who's on this Star Destroyer? That's why this is my favorite part is the foreshadowing
Well,
that
we know who's
unfolds
on
here.
this because of the trailers, but we have Marok, who is the
Yes,
first brother, and we
the
have
first brother.
the 11th brother, the Inquisitor from Tales of the Jedi,
That Ahsoka
the final
just
Ahsoka episode.
Yep, where she pulls, which we're gonna do a quick aside here, like we've been doing, where this fight with him, where she does the forbidden, not just the forbidden Jedi move. This is forbidden among the Sith. This is forbidden amongst all Jedi combatants because it's considered the dirtiest
Oh,
saber
Trakata.
technique. Yes, where she deignites her saber, he goes in for the kill, and she doesn't move, and she reignites it because it's an instant ignite and pierces him right through the fucking chest.
Well, that's
That
what the
is.
stranger. That's what Chimere does in the Acolyte, and it was so
Oh,
fucking
really?
cool. Oh, wait, you haven't seen the Acolyte, have you?
I've never watched the Acolyte, which it's
Oh
still
man.
cool to know that they
Oh
do that
no.
because
So everything. So there are good things about the Acolyte. Like the fight choreography was amazing. The lightsaber fights were amazing,
I'll
and
have to watch it.
the bad guy, the stranger, he does the Trakata technique. He just and there's a part where he stabs somebody with a lightsaber, and he doesn't just yang yang yang. He literally activates it and deactivates it several times in several different places. It is the coolest fucking move, and it's so brutal. It's awesome.
And while we're on this quick subject, do you know why it's forbidden?
Um,
It's not because it's too powerful. That this is actually one of the very few points that I'll give to the Sith where they stand on level terms with the Jedi.
yeah, it's just like it's a very dishonorable thing, I would
It
imagine.
is
Like it's not, it's
it is
just
completely dishonorable.
that
It's like
you there's
bringing a
there's
blaster to a saber fight.
yeah, there's etiquette to lightsaber dueling.
Yes.
Like
It's if you
there's
lose,
forms and there's etiquette.
and if you lose, you're exactly right. It's dishonorable. There's forms, and it is a test of skill. If either party loses that fight, it's because the other party was unequivocally better. That it was determined because you lost. And to pull that move is considered such a cheap shit shot by not only the Jedi but also the Sith that it was basically unanimously decided by both parties we're not going to do this because that's some scummy rat behavior. That's some
What's actually funny is
bottom feeder behavior.
so back when I used to RP Star Wars,
Hmm.
I used to do Star Wars role playing on a message board. My character did this move and I had no idea it was a thing. I just thought in my head, I'm like, wait, this would actually be a really cool technique and it'd be actually a very effective technique. Like, what if I made my character do this in the middle of a fight? And or during like yeah, it was a big fight that I had, and I was like, oh, and then somebody's like, the Trakata technique. I'm like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah, hold on. What did you say?
I was like, and that's so fucking cool. Oh no, I think what I did was I think I had my character like basically hanging in weight or something on a tree,
Hmm.
like dangling from a tree, and I basically had like them hold the lightsaber out and then ignite it as someone like went underneath or something like that. I feel like there was also a
Gotcha.
fight where I had them like they were like clashing, and I disignited, went through, and then reignited. You know that kind of thing.
Such a cheap ass move.
But it's so cool. It is like
It is so cool.
choreographing that would be really fucking cool because I mean if you're
Yes.
skilled enough you can work through it.
Yeah.
You can counter it somehow or at least defend against it if you're fast enough.
If you're fast enough, which is why like Ahsoka pulling this move is like, well, I'm not I'm just a Force user at this point. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
really
and she's
have
just
any
like, this
qualms
is
about the
survival.
Jedi
Fuck
or the
this.
Sith. Yes, it's when your back's against the wall, and every time we see this used in the canon, it is because your back's against the wall. This is the only move that's going to get you out of this. Everybody knows it's cheap and it's scummy, but it's like if it's I would do the same thing in real life where it's like if it's you or me, motherfucker, it's not going to be me. It's going to be you, right? Like I'm not fucking dying here. You know, there's what's the I think you should leave. They might kill you, but there's no fucking way they're killing me. Like you're not going to have that happen to me. So it is very cool to see that, but
Mm-hmm.
it is this sets it up. This sets the stage so well for because we talked about this our first episode. Are we finally going to get a Maul invader, even if they don't fight? Are we
A
finally going to get
confrontation,
at least a
interaction.
brush in? Because Maul, I think Maul, obviously he alludes later on. He knows who Vader is because he's like, I can feel his presence. He's here. Why does he know what that presence feels like? How does he know what that presence is? Now it could be because he's felt Anakin's presence before, and he's like, I know this Force sign. I like to think that the Force has signatures.
Yeah.
So when you see a signature from somebody, you're like, motherfucker, I've got your number. I've seen that before. I know who you are. So it could be that Maul senses it, and he's
Well,
like, oh no,
look back to A New Hope when Vader senses Obi-Wan. He's like, a presence I haven't felt in a very long time.
yeah, yeah, presence I haven't felt since,
Then he trails
and
off, and
it's yeah,
everybody's just
and
like,
then he walks away.
all right, Vader's on his shit again. Okay, and
Yeah,
just carry on. And Vader just walks off.
Vader's fucking aura farming
Yeah.
again. God bless. He's and he does the same thing when he shows up in Rebels, where he's standing on the TIE fighter, and there's no wind on this planet. You're underground. There's no wind in here, and his cape is billowing, and he's on his fighter, which is piloting him. Like,
He's piloting
look,
the
if Vader's
fighter with the Force while standing on
with the
top of
Force
it.
and using the Force to make his cape blow in the fucking wind,
Anakin
come on.
Skywalker, especially Clone Wars
Especially
Anakin,
Anakin, yes.
has always been like the most extra.
The dude's a diva, but he does it so well. And so I really hope that we get at least a interaction where it's like even if they don't fight, but it is a I just want them to see each other. Like even if it's from a mile away, I want them to fucking lock eyes and for Maul to go, "Oh, it's you. You're still alive.
I hope
This is what became of you."
I hope that Maul gets captured, and that's
I
the
hope so
interaction they
too.
have, because
Because at this
that's a
point
struggle.
too,
That would be a point of struggle for Maul in this, and it's not, and it would have to be like, well, he's got to get out of this somehow because there's a season 2, and plus there's Rebels, so it's like,
and something that they haven't alluded to yet that we don't know unless it happens somewhere that I wasn't paying attention. We don't know how Maul knows that Obi-Wan's alive at this point. So if he runs into Vader, even for the first time, and he senses that that's Anakin Skywalker, Maul's smart enough to put two and two together to go, wait a minute, if you're here,
no, he doesn't
is
know.
Obi-Wan
He does
here?
not know Obi-Wan's alive.
No. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
He
if he senses Anakin and he knows that that's Anakin and he's like, oh, you made it. You're
No,
alive.
he doesn't
Is
know
Obi-Wan
shit.
alive?
He doesn't even question or know anything until him and Ezra meet and they converge with the holocrons. So and he sees the
Is that where
vision.
he
That's where he
is that
sees the
where he
vision and
finds out that
realizes that
Obi-Wan's
Obi-Wan.
alive?
Yeah, that's when he realizes, holy fuck, because he probably hasn't even thought about Obi-Wan for years.
Oh no, since after the Clone Wars, right? Like after because we're a year past the Clone Wars, like it's probably been a little bit of time since he's even for all he knows, rightly assumed, Obi-Wan's been dead for a long time. He
Yeah,
got killed in the Clone
yeah,
Wars. Order 66 took Obi-Wan out. There's no way Obi-Wan lived.
yeah.
Especially as close to Anakin as he was, and knowing that Anakin was the the end all for the Jedi and everything, like he has to assume that Obi-Wan's dead. So like, yeah, how are we? I just want to see them meet, and I think the fandom wants to see them meet. So
Oh,
I hope it
definitely.
happens. these last two episodes, we got our. I like how they have their slow points, and when they have the action gets right to the point. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and then it sets up an even bigger plot line. So the
Yeah.
Empire's here, the Inquisitorius must be here. What happens next?
Find out on Monday.
That's right. Find out on Monday, and then next week when we talk about our episodes, we'll be back for episode 3 in our 5-part series for Maulcastrophe.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. So we blew past our fucking half hour.
We always do.
We blew past our last episode. Our last episode was only 50 minutes, I think. We're at an hour and 10.
It's easy to talk about this
It
stuff.
is.
I mean,
it really is.
You know,
So,
I've got the get up on again. We're super fans here. So
yeah. So with that being said, thank you everybody for watching. And we hope you tune in again next week. And we hope you're really enjoying the Maul series as much as we are. We are absolutely loving it here at Podcastrophe. And if you like what you've heard, smash that like button. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel because we do things on this channel now. And and then tune into the podcast live on Facebook, the Podcastrophe Facebook page every Thursday. And then
every Thursday,
if you missed the live stream and you can't come hang out and chat with us live, the video will be posted on YouTube on Fridays. The audio form is available as soon as I'm done mixing it, which is probably going to be that night. I get it out as soon as I'm done. I just immediately upload it. So that can be found on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And just subscribe. If you like us, subscribe to us, follow us, everything. Give us reviews. We like it. Let us know how we're doing, you know.
Please.
And again, I can't thank you guys enough for watching, for consuming our content. And with that being said, make every day a big dick day. I've been Dick.
I've been Scott, and this has been Maulcastrophe.
Hell
See you next
yeah.
time, folks.
Later, guys.